Welcome back to Brighten Your Stitch with Haley. Today we're going to be learning about the Lazy Daisy, one of the easiest embroidery stitches that you will learn. I'm drawing a loop here up on the screen and I'm tacking it down. That's the whole goal of the Lazy Daisy. So in order to get started, you're going to bring your needle up through point A, which is the bottom of the leaf or the petal or whatever you're working on, and you're going to bring your needle back down through hole B. Now hole A and hole B are actually the same hole. They live in the same apartment, the same room, however you want to phrase it. Just try to get in the same hole. If you can't, some fabrics are easier to work with than others, then just shoot for below or above. It is what it is. And then bring your needle through point C. Now you're going to be going from the back to the front. Now point C is located just slightly below the outline. So if that was my outline, point C would be just slightly below it, and then that way it's going to become aligned later on. So then what you're going to do is you're going to feed your needle through the loop that you created earlier, and you're going to pull, and you want to make sure that you're pulling firmly and gently at the same time. You just want to make sure that you're matching the outline with the loop that you have created. So if you want a looser loop, don't pull so hard. If you want a tighter loop, pull a little bit harder, and then bring your needle down through point D. Now, say I'm working with something that is like a conjoined Lazy Daisy where they're connected. It could look something like that. It could look something like this. It could even be a full-blown 6-petal flower. All of it's going to be the same. We're just going to want to make sure that our points are connected. They're looking like they're coming from the same place. So in this case, I'm going to label my points A2, B2, C2, D2 because we're working on the second petal. So I'm going to bring my needle up through A2. A2 and B2 ideally are the same hole as before, as A1, B2, but it's not always. Some wefts are going to be easier to work with, so in my example that I just drew, the weft is bigger, meaning there's bigger holes to work with, which is great, but something with a smaller weave that's really tight, it's going to be much more difficult to do that, so just try to aim near it. And then bringing our needle down through hole B, and then we're going to bring our needle up through hole C, and in that case just repeat the same process as before and then move on to the next one. So now you might be asking me, what does it look like to do a Lazy Daisy on an actual embroidery hoop with real thread? And so let's take a peek. Let's move to the embroidery hoop and we will check it out. For this example, we're going to be working with a butterfly, so I'm going to start by making the body of the butterfly. I'm just making a single stitch across. And then we're going to go in for our Lazy Daisy. I'm kind of angling my needle underneath the fabric, heading outwards so that I can get it slightly underneath the body. I'm going to create my loop, and then I'm going to go through the outline. I'm going to feed my needle through the loop, and I'm going to tighten it, and then you'll see me tack it down. And then you can see me drag my needle and to the right spot, making sure that I'm not getting any threads. I don't want to sew into the threads. I want to sew over them. So then I'm just going into my next Lazy Daisy, nice and easy. I'm going to speed this up for you guys. You guys can watch me problem solve, do the rest of these in real time. I'm going to speed it up for you, of course, but then that way you can see everything. And then we'll go ahead and meet you at step 2, which is where we are working on our back stitch.